A reporting quorum being present, the question is on favorably reporting the bill. Those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed say no.
No.
The chair will call for a roll call. The clerk will call the roll.
Mr. Jordan, Mr. Issa, Mr. Buck, Mr. Gates,
Aye for term limits.
Mr. Gates votes aye. Mr. Johnson of Louisiana, Mr. Johnson of Louisiana votes aye. Mr. Biggs, Mr. McClintock,
No.
Mr. McClintock votes no. Mr. Tiffany votes aye. Mr. Massey votes aye. Mr. Roy, Mr. Roy votes aye. Mr. Bishop votes aye. Ms. Sparts votes yes. Mr. Fitzgerald, Mr. Bentz votes yes. Mr. Klein votes aye. Mr. Gooden votes aye. Mr. Van Drew votes yes. Mr. Nels votes yes. Mr. Moore votes yes. Mr. Kiley votes aye. Ms. Hageman votes no. Mr. Moran, Ms. Lee votes aye. Mr. Hunt, Mr. Fry votes aye. Mr. Nadler,
No.
Mr. Nadler votes no. Ms. Lofgren, votes no. Ms. Jackson Lee, Mr. Cohen votes no. Mr. Johnson of Georgia votes no. Mr. Schiff votes no. Mr. Swalwell, Mr. Lieu votes no. Ms. Jayapal, Mr. Correa votes no. Ms. Scanlon votes no. Mr. Neguse votes no. Ms. McBath, Ms. Dean, Ms. Escobar votes no. Ms. Ross votes no. Ms. Bush, Mr. Ivey votes no. Ms. Balint votes no. Mr. Jordan votes yes. Mr. Swalwell, you're not recorded. Mr. Swalwell votes no. Ms. Jackson Lee, you are not recorded. Ms. Jackson Lee votes no. Mr. Issa, you are not recorded. Mr. Issa votes no. Mr. Fitzgerald votes no.
Are there any other members who wish to vote? Clerk will report the roll.
Mr. Chairman, there are 17 ayes and 19 noes.
Vote being 17 in the affirmative and 19 in the negative, this does not constitute a majority, and the bill is not agreed to.